Welcome to the Breakdown, everybody. This is Aaron Barker. Thank you so very much for joining us today. You have made it all the way through the week to Freaky Friday here on Odyssey Radio, broadcasting from Studio K, the alternate Breakdown studios. Thank you so very much again for joining me. BreakDRadio.com is the website. You can also catch me on all the socials, especially TikTok, at BreakD Radio. So if there's anything there you'd like to enjoy and watch, please go ahead and do that. And also, don't forget to go over to your App Store, your Google Play or your iTunes App Store. Big developments right now. Odyssey Radio now has an app. So simply go to your Odyssey or go to your App Store and download the Odyssey Radio app. Very excited about that. You can listen to all the shows. You can listen to the live stream, catch the podcast, and also find out more information about the shows there that are broadcast on the program all the time. So thank you all very much again for joining us today. We're going to be taking a journey later on in the program. We're going to be talking about edible bugs. Don't turn it off. Don't freak out. It's a very interesting program I think that many of you will really like, especially for a Freaky Friday episode. So excited about that. So stay tuned. Our first guest tonight has been on the program before, as a matter of fact. A woman with three of America's most ordinary names, Susan Smith-Jones, Ph.D., has certainly made extraordinary contributions in the field of holistic health, anti-aging, optimum nutrition, and balanced living. And she's taught students and faculty and staff over UCLA how to be fit and healthy for 30 years. You'll remember her from the last show she did here, giving us timeless wisdom from her grandmother, Fritzy. But definitely tonight we're going to be talking about the fact that busy lives inevitably create a hectic pace of life. And according to our guest tonight, holistic health and lifestyle expert Susan Smith-Jones, Ph.D., experiencing beauty, feeling wonder, and breathing in deeply of life's blessings often fall to the bottom of our to-do lists. Now, her new excellent book, Uplifted, is going to help us consider our priorities and aspirations, and then also help you determine your goals and dreams, and it will also help you reassess how you use your time and what you value in order to live a more realized and full life. The secret to creating these transforming changes, as she writes in her book, is that they're made one step at a time and in 12-minute doable segments. And when time is of the essence, it's extremely important for us all to make those allowances, even for 12 simple minutes. They build on one another so that nothing becomes a burden. They become manageable steps to take your life forward until their cumulative effect manifests major changes of significance. And who doesn't need that right now in the world? If you want to learn more about how to honor both beauty and your body, keep our mind uplifted and positive, then her new book, Susan's new book, and this show today will be a godsend to you. And so I'd like to welcome back to the program Dr. Susan Smith-Jones. How are you tonight?
Aaron, I'm doing well, and I'm doing so well, and I'm very excited to be back with you again. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have you on, always a pleasure to talk to you, and very grateful that we get an opportunity yet again to converse. So what's been going on in your life since the last time that we chatted?
Well, I've just been doing some interviews all over the world. You know, thank goodness for virtual interviews, so I don't have to go to the airport and get on flights and travel all over the world. I can do it all in the comfort of my office or my home. So, and I work with people all over the world. I do counseling, and I just enjoy that. And this latest book we're debuting on your show, Uplifted, 12 Minutes to More Joy, Faith, Peace, Kindness, and Vitality. These are all my gold star secrets that I've been teaching for 20 years all over the world. You know, before COVID, pre-COVID, I was able to fly. And I thought, why not put everything in this new book and the previous book, Wired for High-Level Wellness? You and I talked about that last time. These two books were designed to go together because I didn't want to give someone a 600-page book. I thought it's better to put them in two shorter books, but they're a two-book set. You can buy them individually, but both together give you everything you need to live your best life physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
That's phenomenal. And to be honest with you, the beautiful has the book is beautiful, has a great binding to it, and also you write how you speak, so it's very engaging, very humorous, and definitely a healthy read. So very encouraged to get that. We'll tell you how to get that in the show notes also later on in the program. So you chose the title Uplifted. Let's start by finding out a little bit about why you chose this title and what it means for you.
So, I just think with what we have all gone through over the last few years, I don't know anybody that doesn't wish they felt a little bit more uplifted. And it can mean many things to many people. For someone, Aaron, it could mean floating along on a transparently golden summer day, or it could be an inner lightness that buoys us up through bad moods and depression, or it could be a sense of being lifted along by, at least in my life, by a higher power, by God, in which we have total and complete trust. And I didn't want it just to be a simple book, but I wanted it to be as practical as possible. So not only do I give you about 150 12-minute action steps, it could be 12 or fewer minutes, but not more, and over 100 positive affirmations. But I also make one of the chapters in the book a workbook to ask you lots of questions about your life, because it was Socrates who said, an unexamined life is not worth living. And I didn't want anyone to have to get another book, a third book that's a workbook. So I give you questions for every area of your life, from physical to health to work to prosperity to relationships, and I say to you, get a tablet of paper and a pen, and maybe make it a beautiful journaling book and write down these questions and then answer them, just as a way to get to know yourself better. But the premise of the book is, and we talked about this briefly last time, is I think, Aaron, one of the greatest miracles on planet Earth, a gift from God, is the human body. And from our head to our toes, it was perfectly designed to function optimally well into I like to say, our goldenite, our senior goldenite years, our bodies wiser and stronger than we realize. And it was created to be self-healing, self-renewing, self-rejuvenating, and the spark for this natural restorative power of mind and spirit to heal the body is within each of us. We all have the key to unlock our healing powers so that we can conquer illness, extend life, and be uplifted day in and day out. And you might remember from last time that my grandmother taught me how to live closer to the earth, what to eat, how to live. And as a result of her wisdom to this day, and I'm knocking on wood, I have not had to ever take any medication, because I know the foods, the spices, the herbs, the lifestyle practices that can heal the body, and this is what I teach people all over the world, and I talk about that too in Uplifted.
That's some phenomenal stuff there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of wisdom, not only in the last show, but I'm sure that's going to be dropped on this particular program tonight. So what are some of the components of a person that's trying to live an uplifted life? Now, because a lot of people are worried about following a lot of these positive affirmations and following certain steps, that this is not going to be a long-lasting type of change. So does the book offer a temporary fix, or is this more of a long-lasting kind of a fix?
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely not a temporary fix. In fact, the tips I give you will last hours and days and weeks. But it's not, Aaron, that one morning you wake up and you say, I'm going to live an uplifted life. I'll make some changes today, and then the rest of the year you're never depressed. That doesn't happen. However, it means every day you wake up, and I told you before that the first 40 minutes of each day sets the tone. And I'll talk in a moment about kindness and gratitude. but make your first 40 minutes how you want the rest of your day to be. You probably want your day to be not rushed, healthy, happy, positive, enjoyable, filled with faith. I always read the Bible every morning. We read, and it might just be a few minutes. Read some of my favorite passages. I'll do a quiet meditation because science has discovered that when you meditate a little bit each day, and you can take words from the Bible to meditate, like peace be still. That's Psalms 46:10, where you breathe in slowly and you say to yourself, peace, and you exhale slowly and, calmly, relaxed to be still. But studies show that practicing meditation changes the brain waves. So you go from more beta, which is waking consciousness, where we hope most people are right now listening to us, to alpha. And that makes you what? Feel calmer, less anxious, more compassionate, more optimistic. And studies also show that those people who meditate every day, a little bit, it doesn't have to be hours, a few minutes, have an increased income. You can increase your income by meditating because it makes you more in tune with, I believe, the power of God within you, the guidance, your 24/7 intuition. So people that live an uplifted life are happier, more positive. When you're uplifted, you increase the endorphins in your body. Those are natural painkillers. You secrete more of the neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Those are feel-good chemicals which combat anxiety and depression. And there are multiple ways, and we'll go through as many, a few that we can. I've got 10 summarized here, but 10 ways that you can be more uplifted every single day and literally you can change the physiology of your body, and these are long-lasting for hours and days and days.
So this sounds like it's a very intentional type of setup. And I remember you mentioning that last program about setting aside 40 minutes of your day to start that out. This takes a lot of focus and a lot of intention for a person that purposely wants to change their life and purposely wants to make these long-lasting changes. I mean, it's very difficult to have that with a very busy schedule like a lot of people carry, though.
Yes, but again, I just had 10 thoughts in my brain at once. In terms of that, it's actually not difficult. You can choose to do maybe one 12-minute action step during the day, or you could choose to do 3 or 4. But when these action steps are done, and I like to say baby steps, when they're done, because you don't need to change everything at once. When you're consistent and when they're enthusiastically embraced, because it was Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. So when you take baby steps consistently every day and enthusiastically, and you'll love to, because every day in the book, at the end of the chapter, I give you another action step, another positive affirmation. Then I have an entire chapter of over 100 positive affirmations, and I teach you how to create them yourself. And then throughout the book, there's over 150 12-minute action steps. But they'll soon become your new normal. And every day, if you step out with some courage, then you realize that you have the key to unlock your inner power to achieve your goals. You really do. It's just a matter of every day walking in a positive direction. And so much of it begins literally with, and I know this might seem prosaic and too simple to make any difference, but it often begins with what you think and you speak and you write. One of my chapters has my favorite 260 positive, constructive words. And I always say, keep your words sweet, loving, kind, and true in case you have to eat them, as that old folk wisdom admonishes. You've probably heard that. Because you want to speak positive words. That means you got to put a guard up at your mind and be aware of what you're saying. What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you writing? And speak words that are positively affirm the life you want to create and live. Because words are messengers for power, and you choose what kind of power that these words carry. You know, you can change the course of your life with the words you speak, you think, and you write. So be aware of the words that you say. And, Fritzy told me that I always my whole life, I had to be on the elimination diet. And that was remove from your mind, your heart, your words, remove anger, regret, resentment, guilt, blame, worry, because your health will immensely improve if you don't have all this negativity and the garbage in your mind. What you think about consistently, Aaron, will bring more of the same right back into your life.
I think that's the challenge first with the patience that people have to have, not expecting this to be something immediate, but taking these baby steps and patiently waiting for these changes to take place. It's something that's so needed, and every one of us are looking for peace, and every one of us are looking for a way to be more grounded and to step out of all the negativity that we constantly hear and all of the violence that we see on the television. But if we take these simple steps, find a way to get ourselves grounded each day around 40 minutes, like you're saying, and then following these steps you've mentioned in your book, Uplifted, it's a patient walking on that process. And you said there, of course, the Bible does say in Proverbs, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So these words that we manifest, or that we speak to ourselves and we speak to other people, can actually manifest themselves in, either positive or negative energy. We can have that negative energy stored up inside of us, which causes disease and illness and stress and problems and issues. And it's really a focus on changing a vocabulary, changing our minds, changing the structure of that to really kind of rewire the way that we are right now. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. That's funny, because that's why I titled the previous book Wired for High-Level Wellness. In 2 Corinthians 5:7, I love this simple quote of 5 words: worry ends when faith begins. And I see faith as that invisible and invincible magnet that attracts to itself whatever it fervently desires and expects. And remember, those 40 minutes would be the first 40 minutes of the day, because that does set the absolute tone for the entire rest of the day. And, studies, one last year at Harvard, showed that people who are positive and optimistic not only have a healthier and stronger immunity, but live 10 to 15% longer than pessimistic people. One of the studies in Uplifted is a report from maybe 3 years ago from the Mayo Clinic that suggests that individuals who profess pessimistic explanations for life events have a poor physical health and a higher mortality rate compared to optimists or middle-of-the-road types, and it's regardless of age or sex. And in this study, they said every 10-point increase in the study's pessimism scores, that wouldn't be you or me, but other people, was associated with a 19% increase in the risk of death. And then conversely, participant scores who indicated optimism had a survival rate that significantly surprised even the researchers, better than expected. And that seems to be a no-brainer. But they said that this may be because that the pessimists may be more passive and have a darker outlook in life than other personality types. But then this is what was fascinating to me. It said leaving them more prone to bad life events like injury, illness, and depression. In fact, the researchers concluded that the pessimism itself is a risk factor for early death and should be viewed the same way as other risk factors like obesity, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol. So, the next time a family member or a friend is hanging around you and being as negative and pessimistic as can be, maybe you say, do you know that you're shortening your lifespan considerably just with your whole attitude right now?
Yeah, for real. That's, it is so amazing that just a simple change in our vocabulary, like you're saying there, and the studies have shown this. It's almost like, and of course, I'm still learning. I'm not sure what I think when people talk about the law of attraction. But when you have those circumstances where somebody is constantly negative, they're constantly pessimistic, they're consistently speaking out negative thoughts, they're going to attract those kinds of people to be around them in their lives. They're going to attract that kind of attitude to them as well. You look at something like when Jesus tells us to treat other people the way we want to be treated. It's not the way that you have been treated. It's not the way that they are treating you. It's the way that you want to be treated. So it makes me think that perhaps when we speak these things, when we say these things, that we're telling people this is how we want to be treated. We want to be treated with a negative outlook on life. We want to be treated with disrespect. We want to be treated with pessimism. And so it really does get down to the core of who we are as a person and what we're going to allow to rule our lives. And one of the things that you speak about in this book as well, in Uplifted, is the many benefits of kindness that we have. Now, we're going to take a quick break here. So when we get back, I would like to talk a little bit with you about that as well, Susan, regarding kindness. If you're listening to the breakdown, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Susan Smith-Jones, PhD, and we're talking about her new book, Uplifted, 12 Minutes to More Joy, Faith, Peace, Kindness, and Vitality. It's a jam-packed book full of wisdom and information to help you uplift yourself, and not only uplift yourself, but to uplift others. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll continue on this and more right here on The Breakdown.
Asking the questions that get you kicked out of Bible studies and sent to therapy.
You're listening to The Breakdown.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logoed designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are continuing a conversation here. I want to encourage you, if you have not done it already, go over to your App Store, your Google Play or iTunes App Store. Make sure that you download the Odyssey Radio app, ODYSY Radio. I'm excited about this. I know this is the second time I brought it up, but the benefits of having this app give you the opportunity to listen to the programs live all the time. It keeps you updated on all of the new programs that are being added to the station on a daily basis, some fantastic shows. And then also, it gives you the ability to have the podcasts of all of the programs that are on Odyssey as well. You can check out the website, odysyradio.com, and get more information about the programs there. Now, we are continuing our conversation with Susan Smith-Jones, PhD, and her new book, 12 Minutes to More Joy, Faith, Peace, Kindness, and Vitality. Now, before we went to the break, Susan, I mentioned to you about kindness that you write quite a bit about, the benefits of in Uplifted. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I listen, if you could give me 6 hours, I could talk to you about kindness and gratitude the whole time. But I love that you talked about treating others the way you wish to be treated. That's Matthew 7:12 in the Bible. And my mom and my grandmother always said to me growing up that if you invite kindness to be your default position every day and compassion to be your constant companion, then your daily path of life will be brimming over with more light and joy. And it's just really living by the golden rule. And it feels good when you do something kind for someone else. That's not a secret. But a lot of people, Aaron, may not be aware that your brain's pleasure and reward centers are lighting up like a Christmas tree when you do something kind. And as mentioned briefly a few moments ago, the chemical reactions that are taking place are astonishing. And it could be that you're doing something kind for someone else or even for yourself. Maybe you're eating more fruits and drinking more water and getting a little more sleep or putting a hydrating mask on your face. So it doesn't matter if it's for someone else or for you, but then what happens is your brain releases these neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine, that help combat anxiety and depression. And then also elevated through acts of kindness is a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin, which is known as the love hormone, and it increases the feelings of intimacy. But not only that, there are other chemicals released during acts of kindness, like you've heard of the runner's high, the endorphins. Well, it's the same neurotransmitters that are released during simple acts of kindness, and those also help to alleviate pain. So in other words, there's a lot of bang for your buck for doing something that could be as simple as opening the door for a stranger. That is how powerful kindness is. So whenever you can find ways to be kind to anybody, and keep in mind, once again, that our brains love kindness. You know, it could be that you volunteer time, your time. It could be that you give money. Both of them will light up your brain like a Christmas tree. In fact, there was a study that looked at is giving better than giving time or giving money. And there was a study of more than 3,000 people. And you said, how long does it last before? And they found that 95% of people feel good when they help someone. 53% of people feel happier and more optimistic. And those feelings last for days. Even when, so that means that the helper's high is a real phenomenon. And even when they go back and think about an act of kindness they did, that makes the whole body feel better. And when you show kindness physiologically to show you how powerful it is on your body, kindness will strengthen your immune system, reduces aches and pains, improves your cardiovascular profile, boosts energy and strength. In fact, in a study last year, 2021, the most loving and kind couples and also people were shown to have the lowest levels of atherosclerosis, clogging of the arteries. So, in other words, show kindness to someone else or yourself. It will improve your physiology of your body, and it will last for days and days. And, they just did one of those surveys of happiest countries, right? They looked at 136 countries and found that people were the happiest when they were the most altruistic. And in fact, the 4 countries that were the happiest were in this order. Number 1, and this was just out a few months ago, Finland, and then my grandmother's country, Denmark, and then Iceland, and then Sweden.
Huh. Where does America rank on that?
You know what? They didn't even get to that in the list. I don't think it was near the top. And I would say, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think it seems like people are getting meaner and meaner.
Yeah.
And I would say from the halls of Congress to the main streets of small-town America, it does seem like we're in the midst of an epidemic where people don't have much time to be kind. People, and I think I call it a busyness or a hurry sickness. It's like a form of self-centeredness, of people always rushing around trying to make ends meet. When I counsel people, I often say, do you feel overwhelmed in your life and less compassionate than you did years ago? Usually people say yes. It's been my experience. I see people burning the candle at both ends. They're in sleep debt. They have hardly any time to call their own. And this is what I refer to as a spin cycle lifestyle. And people are always rushing around. Aaron, we'll probably do more this year with appointments, people to meet, places to go, than our grandparents did in their entire lives. And all of this rushing around gives us little time to cultivate relationships with our children, our spouses, with nature, friends, much less with God. And this is what I refer to as a busyness sickness. But there is a way to slow down, and this is what Uplifted is all about. There's a way to increase our level of joy, faith, kindness, to slow down the speed of life and feel uplifted every day. We can do it. It's a choice that we make every day. And I teach you about all the choices you're making and help you look really closely at your life, because we don't want to get to the end of our lives and think, why did I just go on and on and on and not slow down a little bit and treat people with a little bit more kindness? So, there's so much that we can do every day, but it doesn't take that long. It does take a commitment. And you tell by your daily choices every day in life, what are you really committed to? Do you say, I'm going to be healthy today. I'm going to honor this body temple, this magnificent body that God has given me. But then what happens? You drive into the fast food restaurant, or you don't take time to work out, or you don't get enough sleep, or you blow up at one of your employees or a friend. And so it's a little bit more slowing down, but the little 12-minute action steps I give you will help you do just that.
There's so much stuff that you mentioned there, especially about people getting angrier, it seems like. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this or not, but you just decided to make a foray into social media. So now you're on Twitter, right?
Yes, I just, and by the way, follow me on Twitter at SusanSmithJones.com. No, Susan Smith Jones. I don't say .com. And that is where you'll see videos of me. I do lots of video interviews in my monthly free Healthy Living monthly newsletters, and on Twitter, on my Twitter account at Susan Smith Jones. The bullying, it just has to stop.
Yeah, I mean, and you unfortunately, and I hate for someone like you to run into that there, but whenever you put yourself out there publicly, and a lot of people are focused on social media now, and you're going to see just how bad some of this negativity is going to be, and of course, it's frustrating. because I don't understand a lot of times why we can't just let people be happy, let people be joyful. It's almost like somebody sees someone that is joyful or excited about life like yourself, and then they make it their mission to just decimate that positivity and try to destroy that and make them seem like they're a bigger person. And that's one of the the major impacts we see on kids. And we could decry social media. There's definitely a lot of positive things about social media, but the negative aspect of that, unfortunately, is that a lot of children see that, and they see that as a way to interact with others. They see that as a way to be to converse. They see that all the burns and the comments and stuff, and it really is. It's damaging the psyche of our next generation for sure.
Absolutely it is. Oh, goodness. If I had young children right now, I would wait as long as possible before they even had a cell phone, let alone be any part of social media. But there are simple things we can do every day to up our level of kindness and upliftment. For example, sleep. If you're only getting 6 hours of sleep nightly or less, you're going to be more stressed, depressed, impatient. It will increase your blood pressure. It makes you irritable. It's hard to feel compassionate and kind towards other people when you're going through the day with a short fuse and not getting enough time to accomplish all you need to do. And studies reveal that when you get regular good sleep, night after night, your stress levels are reduced, and you're a more compassionate person. Diet, in Uplifted, I have 2 chapters on food and mood, and the foods that you should never put in your grocery cart that can put you into a deep depression and even give you suicidal thoughts. But there are foods also that you can eat that help lift your mood, that can lift you out of depression and make you feel better, and it's not difficult. And the cool thing is you choose what you eat. Nobody's going to be shoving the food down your throat. And exercise. A wonderful study done about a decade ago on 200 people, a 4-year study in the UK, and found that most people could ban the blues and feel kinder, more compassionate in life with 10 minutes of vigorous exercise. So maybe you do 10 minutes of walking and stepping in place during, like you're watching TV at night, or, but just 10 minutes will double the level of a chemical in your body, both norepinephrine and endorphins, which will make you feel happier. And whenever possible, Aaron, you want to get outside to work out, because being in nature calms us down. It reduces anxiety. It's like this morning, I did a wonderful hike in my local Santa Monica Mountains where I live, and you never finish a workout, especially outdoors in nature, and say, oh gosh, I wish I hadn't worked out today. And here's something you can do if you can't get outside to work out. It's a very simple and inexpensive way to become more compassionate. You literally view a photo or an image, or like a poster of a nature scene. You can put it in your home, your office. Look at it a few times a day. Studies reveal that when people spend a few minutes a day viewing images of nature, and especially expansive views like ocean scenes and mountains, they become more compassionate. But of course, much better than viewing images is just being outdoors in nature. I think we talked briefly last time, but I have sections on it in Uplifted and Wired for High Level Wellness. There's a disease I coined called NDD. It's nature deficit disorder. And I think when you have a choice, exercise outdoors, take a hike, walk in the mountains, go to your park, go to a lake, or maybe you walk in your backyard where you have flowers. Because not only does too much time away from nature drain our body's energy and throw off our physical, mental, emotional balance, but it wrinkles our soul and deprives us of a cost-free visual Valium experience. So the more time that we can spend outdoor in nature on a regular basis, the healthier and happier we'll be. It's like my grandmother and mom said, go out, when I was young, go outside and play. And I'd say, go outside to play and pray. And I'll add to this that whenever possible, take off your shoes and socks.
Yeah.
This is called earthing or grounding. And in earthing and grounding, you're absorbing salubrious electrons from the Earth's surface through your feet, or even if you're lying on the grass. If you have a private backyard, you could do this in your birthday suit, but make sure no neighbors have drones. But the more that you can be in your bare feet outside in nature, and maybe it's just your backyard, studies have found that will boost your immunity, your vitality, your mood. It will eliminate depression. And on my website, I'm just checking right to make sure I'm giving you the right place. Yes, it's SusanSmithJones.com. Go in the navigation bar, the third one over from the left. It's called Favorites. And the very first drop-down is called Earthing and Grounding, Nature's Most Effective Whole Body Healer. And on this page, I've just linked, not long ago, an eye-opening 1 hour, of course it's free, 1 hour documentary on the science of earthing. And they have all these medical doctors show you physiologically what happens in your body when you take your shoes and socks off and you connect with the Earth's electrons that will go right into your body. They have a story about this 93-year-old amazing woman who was a champion tennis player, and she loved tennis, and then at 93, she had lots of pain in her hips and knees, and the doctors wouldn't do surgery on her because of her age. And it got her really upset and depressed, and one doctor said, I want you to try something and they had her get an earthing mat. When I can't go outdoors, my feet right now, Aaron, are on a mat, which is very inexpensive. My bare feet are on a mat that's connected to a grounding socket, in the electrical unit here, the plug. And you get just about the same benefits of being outdoors. So this lovely 93-year-old lady got an earthing mat and to put in front of her chair where she watches TV. She got a second one to go at the bottom of her bed where her feet go at night. And then he told her to get out in your backyard, and long story short here, because you can see it all on the documentary, and on that page, too, you can see how to get an earthing mat in Boulder, Colorado. I bought a dozen at once. I give them away as gifts because it makes everyone feel better. But after 1 month of earthing, this lady went back to playing full-blown tennis again.
Wow.
Without any aches or pains. And it's cost-free. It's just that most of us live in such a crazy lifestyle, always wearing shoes and socks, usually rubber bottoms, and it prevents you from soaking up those electrons that the Earth is giving us all the time. Aaron, it's a phenomenal documentary that once you watch the first 3 minutes, you won't be able to turn it off. I think it's about an hour and 10 minutes long. It is so amazing. And if you think this is all crazy stuff about earthing and grounding on the Earth's surface, you will totally believe in it when you see all the studies that the doctors report to you. They show you what happens in the body when you do earthing. And Fritzy didn't know this back when I was a teenager, but remember I told you last time that I observed what she did with neighbors when they came over to get her help for all kinds of healing, physical, mental, emotional. When people came over and they were depressed, she would have them take their shoes and socks off, walk in the backyard with her, And she said, I don't want you to talk for at least 5 minutes. Appreciate the beauty of my garden and the flowers. And they would walk, and then she would just listen when they finally started talking, because one of the greatest hungers of the human heart is to feel understood. And we're born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Maybe God was telling us to talk less and listen more. And then she'd give them some chamomile tea and send them off, and they were as happy as a lark. And that's why she always took me down to Santa Monica Beach, and she had me build sand castles in the sand and walk along the ocean with her barefoot. Now, way back then, in the days of yore, we didn't have all these studies we have now about earthing and grounding, but it's probably nature's most amazing healer for the body, and it's totally free. So just make sure you go to SusanSmithJones.com, go to favorites, and the first drop-down is on earthing and grounding. And while you're there on the website, on the home page, make sure you sign up for my free monthly Healthy Living newsletters. You'll see a lot of videos of me. I give you recipes, cutting-edge health advice, lots of funny stories, jokes. You know, it's just something fun to look forward to once a month. I don't inundate you with emails.
Oh, that's much appreciated. That'll help people get out of that rut and make that time that they're needed each day to ground themselves again. That's something that I also did, and I mentioned that to you on the last program, is something that I used to do and still do. Not as much as I should, though, is just go outside and walk barefoot in the grass. Get outside in nature and make sure that you're grounding that way. We've only got a couple of minutes left here. And as always, we never are able to finish all of the fascinating things we can talk about. The website you mentioned, SusanSmithJones.com. Your articles and information there that you have are absolutely amazing. It's like an encyclopedia of holistic health and wisdom and knowledge there for people. So head on over to SusanSmithJones.com. Before we only have a couple minutes left here, Susan, is there anything else that you would like to mention before we say goodbye on this particular interview about your book, Uplifted, 12 Minutes to More Joy, Faith, Peace, Kindness, and Vitality?
Yeah, well, I would just say this, that remember, each day comes bearing precious gifts for you from God. We need to untie the ribbon. Every day affirm throughout the day, unexpected blessings are coming my way. And remember, if you now make a commitment and choose, and these 2 books, Wired for High Level Wellness and Uplifted, which, by the way, Amazon has them, but if you go to new books on my website, you can get autographed copies right from me, and then they come with a personal note card for you and a bookmark. But if you make a commitment to take care of your miraculous body every day in all the ways I describe in Uplifted, it will reward you 1,000 times over, improving your odds against disease, supporting mental health, giving you the courage of a lion. I help show you how you can be more courageous. It will put wings under your self-esteem and confidence. And you have the power right now to stay healthy physically and mentally, because the healing truly comes within you. And I think it's the time now to unlock those self-healing powers today. So you've got to make a choice and a commitment to do that. And then again, like we said about words, each and every day, never denigrate yourself, because you're attracting to yourself what you think, you feel, you believe. Speak only lovingly and positively to yourself. When you love yourself internally that way, you will glow externally. And it's really about the relationship with you. Falling in love with you doesn't make you selfish or vain. It makes you indestructible, because you got to fill your cup. And then when you do that, and you're uplifted and happy and a person of faith, then you can better help other people around you. And all that light and positivity will ripple out from you in every direction and make you a magnet for blessings and miracles.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Uplifted, 12 Minutes to More Joy, Faith, Peace, Kindness, and Vitality. Author is Susan Smith Jones, PhD. Susan, as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you. You're always an encouraging person and very knowledgeable on all this. Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you, Aaron. Look forward to our next visit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there will be more visits. Folks, you can go on over to breakdradio.com. That is where you'll be able to find the show notes on this. And I'll try to link as many of the articles and videos that we discussed in this particular episode on that page. You can also listen to the previous interview that we did with Susan Smith Jones. And it was in that interview as well, where we discussed her other book, Wired for High Level Wellness. SusanSmithJones.com is the website. Keep it locked in right here on The Breakdown, folks. Next hour, we will be talking about edible bugs. That's right, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Keep it locked in right here on The Breakdown.